do is to present to you members of the head table. As I call their name, I'm asking that they will just simply stand or give a sign of recognition. Miss Elaine Blackwell. I'm going to exercise a bit of autocratic rule here and ask that you hold your applause until the end. Mr. Luther Burst, Mr. Leroy Gaines, Mr. Sonny Harris, Mr. Romeo Henderson, Ms. Susan Hendricks Payne, Alan Hollis, Lauren Hunt, James McCormick, Chancellor of the System, Laverne McCummings, President of the University, James Morgan, D. Jack Moses, Bernard Proctor, Shirley Reff, Florence Reed Johnson, and I'm standing in her place, Wayne Richardson, Lillian Ross, Harris Starr, and we all know the honorees, Patrick and Edith Walker. And we cannot in any way forget the person who has just recently joined us, Dr. Howard Simmons, the Director of the Middlesex Association. Simmons. And now I'd like to present to you Dr. Luther Burst, who will serve as the Master of Ceremony.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let me join all of us and all of you in saying that we are delighted to be here, to be a part of what has been described as one of the more auspicious occasions of this decade. Time when we've come together and made some determination that we will take Brother Walker out. So I want to say to each of you on behalf of 4 young ladies and 1 gentleman who were responsible for conceptualizing this special occasion and who served as its planning committee. Florence Johnson, William Ross, Sherry Butler, Madeline Johnson, and Mike Ruffin. I want to say on their behalf that we are delighted that you would take time from wherever your schedules may have dictated you be and come here to Wilmington and to this hotel in this time to join us in saying farewell to 1 career and 1 person, that person being our honoree Patrick Walker. Someone has said that his next special assignment will be to serve as the door person at the Monday Club starting on Monday evening. So we invite you to pursue that and find out if that is the case. We want to apologize to you for the slight delay, and we assure you that we're going to, just as the airlines say, make up that time. And we're going to do that by moving with great dispatch. So let me at this time ask Dr. Clark, Dr. Vernon Clark, Vice President of Academic Affairs at Cheyney University, if he would come back to the podium and extend a full welcome to you on this, as we said before, auspicious occasion. Thank you, and we will continue after Dr. Clark.
It is indeed my pleasure to extend the university's hearty welcome to each of you. We all know Pat and love him in varying ways, as you'll hear sometimes during the afternoon. I'm reminded of the time when I took the job at Cheyney. When Pat took me into his office, he said, "Vernon, now that you have the job, these are my shoes and you can practice kissing them." seriously, Pat and I have had a very nurturing relationship, and I have enjoyed his presence, and I will miss him in his absence. And even though he's quite close, I know that we'll be seeing quite a bit of him, even though he is in retirement. And I know each of you could say in your own words how much you enjoy having known him. And Pat, I know that you told me not to tell this story, but I've got to tell it. During the first year that I was at Cheyney, one of Pat's old friends came into the office. And they were, I don't think Pat had seen this friend for quite some time, maybe 10 or 15 years. And they were reliving old times. This friend asked Pat, "What about Miss So-and-so?" Pat said, "Well, she's dead." And then the friend said, "Well, what about Mr. John So-and-so?" And Pat said, "Well, he's dead too." And the man asked about someone else. And Pat said, "Well, that person died." And the guy said, "Well, I just saw that individual 2 weeks ago." And Pat said, "Well, you know how Jews are. They die, but they come back to life because they have tremendous senses of humor." And I said, "Pat, please don't do this to me. Don't talk like that. You know my wife is Jewish. Please don't act this way." That's one incident that I had to share, Pat. But again, I'd like to just extend to you the welcome of the university to this auspicious occasion. Patrick, we will miss you, but it is hard to miss a person if they don't leave.
It's going to be that way all evening, I can assure you that. You know, so often people say this, and there's no reason why I shouldn't say it as well, that the president needs no introduction. And so I'm not going to introduce Dr. Laverne McCummins, president of Cheyney University. Simply going to ask him if he will come at this time and present for all of us the occasion. And he will be followed by Mr. Bill Morgan, is it, who is going to substitute for Reverend William Manley, who will do the invocation. At this time, Dr. McCummins.
Thank you very much, Luther, and good evening, good afternoon to all of you. It would be very nice if I had the slightest inkling, and I'm a pretty intelligent person. I think I am. I've had formal training, and I've done all the little workshops that educators do. I've really been all over the country, but I really don't know what this occasion is about. The Eagles are coming on at 4 o'clock. As a matter of fact, the first quarter is over. I saw an excellent football game yesterday with my son. We have plenty at home to eat, although my wife fried chicken and took it to my son yesterday so he could fly back on the plane with it and feed his roommates. Nice Sunday afternoon, 96 degrees on the outside, humid. I promised the Lord that if I ever got a chance to have some time off from my regular duties at the university, I would spend it at home with my wife on Sunday afternoon. And here I am at the Hilton Hotel. I really don't know why we're here. Jean Moore has worked with me for a long period of time, and I call on her occasionally to help me craft comments. And when I told her that I was going to make comments about the occasion and didn't know what I should wear, that's why I have this suit on. I really didn't know what I should wear. So I decided that I couldn't go wrong if I put a tuxedo on. See, Luther did the same thing. We're not out of place, Luther. But Jean did craft some things, and I just want to share them with you. This is, for us, a really profoundly sad and a very serious occasion. Pat has been with me for the entire duration of my tenure as president of Cheyney University, and I'll have some other things to say about him later on. But he's known as Patrick Henry, Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death Walker. He's had 20 years of experience at Cheyney, and he retired from his beloved university. This wise and somewhat wily gentleman really has retired. We made sure of that because we let him go on a sabbatical last semester and made sure that he signed the retirement papers and immediately took them to the personnel office. So we know that he's retired. Patrick Walker, a gentleman and a scholar, and there are those around the university who would not classify him as a scholar. But he is the keeper of Cheyney's history. You can ask him anything and he'll give you the dates that you need, the time that the occurrence, anything that took place. He no longer can be seen in Wade Wilson administration building coming huffing and puffing into my office, arms folded with his unusual good news. Everything is under control, or I am excellent, or we can take care of that. Of course, as everyone knows, Pat was, a prime athlete and hasn't gained very much weight, although I'm told by some of his colleagues that he used to roll across the campus. But he's managed to stay in good shape. And I think it has something to do with a story he told me once, and he's told me a lot of stories. But he told me that he and his wife made a pact some 35 years ago when they first got married. And the pact simply said that if they ever had an argument, to work it off rather than have it mushroom into something that it ought not to be, the one who lost the argument or was determined that the person was wrong would take a walk around the block. Just walk 4 or 5 times around the block. And I can tell you that Pat is as slim as he is because for 35 years he's been walking around the block. This is a chance to honor this gentleman. And Pat is gentle. He never gets excited if you know him. Does he? He never raises his voice. He always has a sober and sad expression on his face. He doesn't know what it is to laugh, and when he does, it's so quiet until you can't hear it. Like everything else Pat Walker does, drive with a great deal of moderation. Now, I can tell you on a personal level, I've traveled from Pittsburgh to Philadelphia in about 3.5 hours. And for those of you who know how long that is, but Pat was at the wheel, so he drives with a great deal of moderation. The key to it was that he told jokes the entire time, and I laughed all the way, so I didn't know what was going on. He's known to do the time between Philadelphia and Washington in a little over 30 minutes. So it is that this occasion is indeed a solemn one to pay homage to the stoic, very patient character we affectionately call Pat. Since it's a serious occasion, I want to share a couple other stories with you. And I'm sure that somebody just slipped me a note that says Pat's first touchdown of oh no, they're talking about his Eagle score. Just set up the first score, 7-0 Eagles. Well, Pat, as you know, is one of these two people who has told me that he has 2 bottom line issues that have always been very prime for him. It's called honesty and wisdom. You ask him something about life or living or doing or being, and Pat will absolutely be honest. And as we talked one day, I asked for his definition, and that's about what he told me. And I says, Pat, what about the definition of wisdom? He says the definition of wisdom that I use is that I am wise enough not to tell you anything that you ask me. I'm also told that in his married life, in addition to having done a great deal of exercise and because of being wrong so many times, that Pat came in one night, he told me 3 o'clock, and Edith was upstairs and she wanted to know what time it was, and he was in the living room. and he didn't tell the truth. He told it was 12 o'clock. And as he said 12, they had a cuckoo clock, and the cuckoo clock cuckooed 3 times. He told me he was a ridiculous looking sight trying to cuckoo for 9 additional times. I am delighted that all of you are here to share this very, very special occasion. I've had the opportunity to write a little note to Pat and to spend some private time with him talking about the meaning of life and his relationship with me during my 5-year tenure. I am delighted that you are here to share these moments with him, and we're going to miss you very much, Pat Walker, and I feel sorry for Edith.
We thank thee, Father God, for sharing Pat Walker with us. For we are appreciative of all his contributions, his sense of humor, his joy for living, his industry, his faithfulness, and his personality. We pray that this occasion may remind him that we love him, that he did not live in vain, and when he feels useless and has nothing to do, may he remember that he has friends, and we're putting to work. Thank you, Father, and bless us as we fellowship together. Amen.
We hope that you will go on and enjoy your dinner. It may become necessary at some point in this long program for us to come back to you. But we know that you're friends with Pat Walker, so you don't take any structure. You don't take any discipline anyway. You will continue to eat. We don't even have to tell you that. Just know that when we do come back, we will try to move you so that we can get into the opportunity to hear from our honoree and also many of his friends. Please enjoy your eats.
I'm getting on this year at the bottom. How they say they can turn around, Marty. Let me put back your game.
ever deserved. We're going to make just a slight adjustment in our program. We have some individuals who must leave. What I'd like to do, because they are not only very special and dear friends of our honoree and his lovely wife Edith, but they're also very dear friends of mine. I want to have you recognize at this time the president of Morgan State University, Dr. and Mrs. Earl Richardson. If you just stand. Sometime later on, Cheyney family, we're going to recognize all of us because, you know, a real member of the Cheyney family will never get away, nor want to, nor try to. And so I just happened to have brought my wife back to a place where we've had so many good years, where we have so many friends, and I must, because of the situation that we're in, include Patrick Walker in that number. But we also have among us an individual who served Cheyney well as its president. We'd like for you to recognize at this time Dr. and Mrs. Leroy Allen, former president of Cheyney State University and Cheyney State College. I think you ought to give Dr. Howard Simmons another special recognition because all of us who are part of the Cheyney family and anyone who is a part of higher education in Middle States know of his vital and important role. And so if you would, Dr. Simmons, just stand again. Dr. Simmons, by the way, is a first in many respects, and as you talk among yourselves at the tables, it will become clear to you why he is so important to Cheyney University. Now, we've kind of talked education because it's important that we do that. It's important that we do that because our honoree is an individual who all of his adult life has been in some way associated with either basic education or higher education. We find that to be very, very interesting considering, Dr. Richardson, that there is very limited information about this gentleman having attended Morgan State University. We are told that the president at that time was a Dr. Holmes who also interviewed prospective students. And as best the information that we received goes, Mr. Walker, our honoree, was asked three basic questions. First of all, Dr. Holmes asked Mr. Walker if he could tell how many days of the week began with the letter T. He, of course, replied immediately 4. Dr. Holmes expressed some surprise and said, "Sir, would you please tell me what they are?" Patrick H. Walker, Jr. said, "Tuesday, Thursday, today, and tomorrow." Not to be outdone, Dr. Holmes proceeded to say, "Well, tell me, Mr. Walker, how many seconds are there in the year?" Mr. Walker, being a bright young man from Lynchburg, said 12. Dr. Holmes looked in exasperation and said, "Sir, would you explain that?" He said, "My God, man, you're a college president, don't you know? January 2nd, February 2nd. And just so that, you know, because of the historically black colleges and their whole, Jack, you will appreciate this, the very profound way in which they develop musical talents. Dr. Holmes asked him as a last resort, "Sir, tell me how many D's are in the song Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?" To which our honoree replied, 1,248. Again, in exasperation, Dr. Holmes said, "Sir, explain that to me." Patrick proceeded to say, "Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee." There is very little evidence. It does seem ironic that two men would serve the now Commonwealth University system so well in their respective careers and would start at basically the same time as dean. We are very honored to have with us this evening, the chancellor of our system, and a gentleman who has long been a very true and sensitive friend of Cheyney University. Would you join me now at this time in bringing Dr. James H. McCormick to the podium, who will bring greetings from the system and who is also a very personal and dear friend of our honoree, the chancellor of our system, Dr. McCormick.
Pat, Mrs. Walker, members of the Walker family, and the many friends of Pat and Edith Walker. It is my great pleasure and honor to bring greetings on behalf of the entire state system of higher education, and really a great pleasure on a very personal basis to be able to share this evening with you. There are many, many sides to an occasion like this. The celebration, the excitement, the opportunity to say thank you, and also the regret, recognizing that things are changing and Pat's relationship with Cheyney University will never be quite the same. But for someone like Pat, a time like this, I know, will be a time of excitement, anticipation, and I'm sure he will have new items on his agenda and will continue to enjoy life and enjoy the activities that are to come. Now, occasions like this can be organized in different ways. They can be dignified. You can have a good roast, and I think it's shaping up, Luther, to be that this evening, and I would like to participate in that roast, but I don't do that very well. Besides, I know that my day will probably come, and if Pat is there, I know there will be a payback. Now, we have not always agreed. Sometimes we've agreed to disagree on issues, but there's always been a mutual respect for each other. And I'm really, on a very personal basis, honored to be here this evening. Mrs. McCormick, Mary Ann, my spouse, sends her regards to you and Mrs. Walker. The office staff sends thanks. And Pat, on behalf of all of us, we salute you this evening for your steady, loyal, caring, and ever watchful commitment to Cheyney University and her students over these many, many years. We thank you, we're grateful, and on a personal basis and for the system as well, we look forward to continuing our friendship and our relationship. Thank you again. Thank you.
Miss Sherry Butler among us. This talented young lady, as I indicated early on, has served as one of the members of the planning committee for this activity. But she also has another side, and we said, Dr. McCummins, that it could very well be that when we get into serious fundraising, when we get into looking at ways in which we can attract those capable and qualified students, that part of the funds necessary for scholarship will come from activities on this order involving this young lady. While she is getting ready, we wanted to see if Wayne Richardson was here. Wayne is one of the few college students that we saw in the audience who had the joy or misfortune or whatever it might be of having been taught by Patrick H. Walker. Wayne, where are you? To your left. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were here. Someone said you were. Wayne, do you recall your written message to Dr. Wilson, by the way, Dr. Wade Wilson, all of us loved and respected, when Mr. Walker, in his new methods of instruction, taught an awful lot and asked his students to say in writing what they had learned, and you recall your message was not a damn thing? Pat just whispered to me, yes, he did say that. And I would have given him an A, but you had to give him a B because he misspelled damn. the university system, and I can recall many of the difficulties that we encountered during my time at Cheyney University, and it was Wayne Richardson who was able to bail us out. Gladys Motley will tell you that it was also Wayne Richardson who enabled us to have a successful Wade Wilson football classic and thereafter for many reasons which we won't discuss now, but Wayne is definitely a lawyer in every sense of the word. Having said that, you will want to talk about that too later on in the evening. At this time, without further ado, Ms. Sheridan.
Thank you. Mr. Walker, on behalf of your friends at Cheyney University, your family, your friends, and your colleagues here, I would like to do a special number just for you. So for you. I'm sure that as you go through the program, during the course of the evening, you will reflect back on some of the times that you've had, good and bad and different. And I hope that after this evening, you'll have an opportunity to at some point in your life think about this evening that you shared with your family and friends. And so I salute you, Mr. Walker.